got people out here locking people up for no reason. I'm born here.
You said you're born here?
Yeah, I'm born here. Kings County Hospital, Brooklyn. I'm born here. I'm stuck. Get on my fucker. Yeah, I broke that. Fuck. Clown ass niggas. Suck my.
Hey, Edwin.
Yo, suck my. Yeah, man.
I know you will be absolutely shocked beyond all imagination and belief to find out that this was ICE attempting to detain a United States citizen, someone who was born in the United States, in Brooklyn, it sounded like he said, which last time I checked is within the United States. Because the Supreme Court has decided that ICE, unlike a real police force, doesn't need probable cause before it starts detaining and handcuffing and shipping people off to wherever. They don't need probable cause. All they need to do is find that you are vaguely ethnic before they start to handcuff you and take your wallet down and question you. All you have to do in America now is not be a white person before you are subject to, and granted, we were already subject to increased amount of scrutiny from the state by virtue of the fact of being minorities, but the Supreme Court has just greenlit it. So now all you have to do is not be a white person, and ICE is handcuffing you and questioning you about where you're born and asking you to see your papers. And whatever circle of hell we all happen to find ourselves in collectively is the level that this behavior is not only accepted, but it is praised by this administration.
I'm so thankful for Border Patrol, thankful for ICE that they get up every single day and they go into these dangerous situations and they protect people, put their lives on the line. Lawrence, I don't know if you've heard the statistic, but they've had an 8,000% increase in death threats against them.
So while Secretary Noone is here bragging about how effective a job at bullying the American people into submission ICE is doing, and trying to garner sympathy for their cause. And granted, I suspect that she's probably correct, that this has been the year in which they've received the most amount of death threats, which is wholly and completely unacceptable. Don't threaten violence. So while all that's going on, this year has been the deadliest year to be in ICE custody for over the past 2 decades. So in over 20 years, more people have died this year than any other year previous. And this is what the administration is calling a good job. This sort of behavior. So we can't threaten you, which we shouldn't, that's correct. But you can kill us. And when I say us, I mean all of us. Because ICE doesn't give a damn about immigration status. They've detained documented immigrants, undocumented immigrants, United States citizens alike. They don't give a damn.
So an Alabama man is suing the federal government after he says he was detained not just once, but twice by ICE agents. Leonardo Garcia Venegas says that both incidents happened while he was working at a construction site earlier this year, and that both happened purely because he's Latino. Garcia Venegas is an American citizen born to parents who are Mexican nationals. His lawsuit claims that both times he told the officers he was a citizen and showed them his real ID. As you know, the real ID is the identification card that's issued only to citizens and lawful residents, but the officers still wouldn't let him go.
So Mr. Garcia is an American citizen who simply just wants to work in peace. 2 times now, immigration officers have barged onto work sites where he was working and detained him without any reason to think that he had done or was doing anything unlawful. The first time, they violently tackled him to the ground, kept him in handcuffs for over an hour, and then he had to take almost 2 weeks off from work because he was so terrified and traumatized by what happened. He was scared to go back. Finally, he gathers up the courage to resume working after a couple of weeks. And it turns out his fears were justified because it happened again. The second time around, immigration officers actually came into a nearly fully constructed house where he was working. They forced him outside. Again, as the last time, he showed him his real ID. He said, I'm a citizen. They refused to accept it. They refused to believe it.
I live in the state of Alabama, and ICE has been running completely rampant this whole time. Now, it gets underreported because Alabama's a red state. Mr. Garcia and I share a whole bunch of things in common. He lives in Alabama. I live in Alabama. He was born in the United States. I was born in the United States. He looks Hispanic, and I certainly don't look Anglo-Saxon. I'm black. Hopefully people can determine that. Maybe they can't. I have a real ID. He has a real ID. If asked to provide proof of my citizenship, I would show my real ID. I don't carry anything else. I don't carry around my social security card. Certainly don't carry around my birth certificate. I don't know where it is. And apparently, the real ID is insufficient proof of citizenship because Mr. Garcia was detained not once but twice despite having it, and despite only United States citizens possessing it. That was still enough for him to get detained not once but 2 times. You know, you could almost forgive the hatred quicker than you can forgive the level of incompetence that's rife in ICE. I've been black a long time, and there was hatred, bigotry, racism the day I entered this planet. And there will be hatred, bigotry, racism the day they lower me in the ground. But ICE's incompetence is costing us money, and that I can abide by even less. It's not enough they're wasting resources, racial profiling on actual United States citizens. They also have to pay out millions because they keep effing up.
We're suing ICE for detaining people in inhumane living conditions in California's largest immigration detention center. The center is currently denying people access to adequate food, water, healthcare, and clothing. People are being kept in isolation and facing severe abuse by staff members, including being pepper sprayed and subjected to sexually abusive pat-downs. Critically, the facility is also limiting people's legal right to speak with their lawyers and loved ones. This is another example of ICE's complete disregard for immigrants' rights and the rule of law. We'll see the Trump administration in court. Again.
ICE has proven themselves to be perfectly comfortable violating people's 4th, 5th, and apparently 8th Amendment rights, which exist irrespective of citizenship status. But they also appear to just be downright low down, cruel, and hateful. Take a look.
This is what ICE does. This is what these terrorists do to babies.
Mama, you okay, Mama? You okay? You okay, Mama?
No. Usted me lo quiebra, usted me lo paga. Usted me lo quiebra, usted me lo paga. Usted quiebra mi ventana. ¿Por qué hizo eso, señor?
Why? Why? Is this law and order? Is this common sense immigration reform? Is this what you voted for? It's not what I voted for. These are just recently. Ever since the very beginning of this administration, ICE has been running wild and rampant through our cities, terrorizing U.S. citizen and immigrant alike.
You have fiascos like this, you have political theater, and you have constant and new anxiety you're introducing to the public. Folks in Charlotte are not going to be made safe by this.
We know that these agents are not engaging in targeted actions meant to capture violent criminals. They are going for numbers.
This is not democratic, this is not American, and this is not Charlotte, and this is not this country.
Donald Trump's rhetoric has been stoking the flames of xenophobia, racism, anti-immigration since he came down from that damn golden escalator way back when. But he got elected this cycle because he promised to deport violent, undocumented immigrants who were plaguing our communities, who were committing crimes in our communities. Instead of doing that, he is preying upon the most vulnerable among us. I mean, pepper spraying babies doesn't get any more vulnerable than that. And the Supreme Court has said it's perfectly acceptable to racially profile people. Not that anybody was waiting around for their approval to be racially profiling, but even still. The institutions in this country that were designed to protect us are failing us under this administration. And he's actually trying to erode them even further. He's attacking the concept of birthright citizenship. Not that ICE was giving a damn about that concept anyway. They were already detaining and in some cases deporting people who were born in the United States. So, but even still, that shows that he has no interest in governing our nation the way it was designed to be governed. And is anybody racially profiling Melania Trump? No. He wants only people who he decides are citizens to be citizens. I mean, no one's racially profiling Melania because she's got a foreign-sounding name and a foreign-sounding accent. He's only targeting black and brown people. But this shouldn't be a left versus right issue. This is wholly anti-American. And if you believe in the core values that are at the foundation of our nation, you should be against this.